Hi, and welcome to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. My name is Bill Moore. I'm a food truck business coach and author of Food Truck 101, Beginner to Winner. This podcast is all about helping you start and grow your food truck business. Today I'm going to talk about symptoms and symptoms of diseases. And I know you're thinking, what's it got to do with food trucks? But it's an analogy. Whenever you do training, you're helping people to understand how you want things to be done. And that makes sense to people. We train them, we show them what to do, and send them on their merry way. But what you got to look at after you've trained them and they're officially out of that training stage and they're doing the work on their own is you following up and making sure they're doing things the way you expect them to do. Now here's where the symptoms come in. If you find an issue is not being done the way you want it to be done. For example, there was a restaurant that I used to inspect that every time that I would go in and do the inspection, to get into details, you look underneath things. The handles on the trash cans, they always were filthy dirty. They would take the trash cans and spray them out and do what they were supposed to do, but they wouldn't invert the trash cans and get up into that little handle part and clean it out. So it'd be all filled up with gunk and stuff. And I would always ding them on their evaluations. And at one point, I told the manager that if I keep coming in and seeing the same problem over and over and over, that tells me you're not taking serious what I'm saying. So the next time it happens, I'll just take off double points. And so what the manager did the next time I come in, he says, "You're not going to catch me on the handles today?" I said, "Well, that's good." And I go and look at the trash cans to follow up and make sure the trash cans were clean. And what he had done was cut off the handles. So he's right. I can't ding him for the handles being dirty. But all he did was take a symptom of a problem, which was the management follow-up and making sure the employees were doing the job properly. And he just said, "Nah, we don't need to do that." So the symptom was taken care of, but the disease was still there. The disease of management not following up, of management not doing proper training. That's the problem. When you have an employee that doesn't do something the way you expect them to do it, and you don't correct them, you don't teach them how to do it right, you have trained them what they're doing now is acceptable, and they will continue to do it. They won't get better because you're not being the person in charge and helping them to get better. So when you have a symptom, you have an issue, something that needs to be repaired, you need to look at, where's this stemming from? What's the disease that I need to get medicine for? In the case of the trash can, the symptom was a dirty handle. The disease was a lack of management follow-up, lack of training. And you could see that all throughout the restaurant. The manager didn't take the seriousness of the issue to its full conclusion, which was, okay, if we're not following up on this, what else are we not following up on? And you could see it in multiple areas in the restaurant. The DADOT system wasn't being done properly. The closing procedures weren't being done. They weren't filling out their checklist. They weren't doing the time and temperature holds like they were supposed to. There were a lot of little things that showed that they didn't care enough about the job to do it properly. So that's the same thing that you have got to do when you're dealing with one employee or 3 employees or 5 employees, making sure that whatever is going on in your operation is the way you want it to go. Are we being as fast as we need to be? Are we being as friendly as we should be? What is the expectation that you have? And then follow up on that expectation. And when they're not doing something properly, now you have a symptom. What's the disease? What is the underlying cause here so that I can make the symptom go away? Because we all know when we have a headache, we take Tylenol, makes it go away. But is it just because we have a headache, or do we have a tumor, or do we have something else going on that's serious? We have a blood pressure problem, which an aspirin or a Tylenol won't fix any of those. But we make the pain go away, but we still have the issue. We still have the disease. So that's what I want to get across to you guys today. When something doesn't go the way it's supposed to go, figure out the why. Figure out what is creating this symptom. Figure out that disease and then treat the disease. Do I need to do more training? Do I need to hire better people? What do I need to do to get through this situation so it's no longer the symptom that's leading to a big disease? Because symptoms will multiply. That particular restaurant that I was telling you about where they cut off the handles, they thought they had solved one problem, but what it did was it exposed so many more problems. Because then I was able to take that manager around and go, you know what? You're not going to lose points for this because the handles aren't there. But now I'm going to show you what you are going to lose points for that related to those handles not being cleaned properly, because it's a detail thing. Here's another detail that isn't done properly, and you take your finger and you run across the top of the hood and you come down with a bunch of dust. That's a detail that wasn't being done properly. Same issue. The handles weren't clean. There's dust on top of the hood. Those are details that are being ignored. So don't think that you can cut off the handles and make a problem go away. It just manifests itself somewhere else. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you're finding all the information useful in your business, please consider becoming a monthly supporter of the podcast. Just hit the support button below or follow the links in the description. Every little bit does help keep us going. If you guys need a business coach to help you reach your food truck business's full potential, check out my website. I've got all different kind of services to help you reach the goals that you have. If you like being around like-minded, positive, supportive people, we got a Facebook group. It's called Food Truck Training. We have a whole bunch of awesome members there at all different levels, from just starting newbies to old-time veterans. They all are there to help you succeed, so please check us out. Thank you guys so much for listening. Come back tomorrow, and I'll have a whole bunch more to say about topics dealing with your food truck.